Hi, this is Jeremy Moskowitz, Desktop Management and Group Policy MVP, and in this video, I'm going to show you first why your MDM solution isn't that good at scripting, and how we here at PolicyPak with our PolicyPak Script Manager plus your MDM solution is probably way better than what your vendor provides by itself. So the first thing is that maybe your vendor doesn't provide any scripting ability in their MDM solution. Some of them don't. Some of them do, and I'm going to talk about the ones that do, but if you don't have any scripting ability, well, now you do with PolicyPak Script Manager. If you're a Mobile Iron customer, this is an extra add-on. In other words, this thing called Mobile Iron Bridge you have to pay into in order to run existing PowerShell scripts that they provide or you can create yourself. But the point is like if you want to do this idea, you have to buy into it as a Mobile Iron customer. A lot of these vendors only let you use one script type. Most of them are restricted to PowerShell, but if you've got some intricate scripts that are already VB or batch file scripts, you're kind of out of luck. So I'll show you how to fix that problem. These scripts will never update. Typically, these scripts are applied and run only one time, unless the script itself is updated. And in our world, that's different, and I'll show you how that's different. These other solutions let you target only computers and not users, and that's kind of a bummer because you might want to do something that affects every user on the machine, and you may want to do things that affect the system itself. And with these other systems, you kind of can only do the latter. You can only affect the system itself. All the logic must be contained inside the script. This is a big problem because you might have a script that you might want to say, do this thing when it's a desktop, do this other thing when it's a laptop. That stinks because then you have to figure out how to determine those conditions being true, and you have to jam that all into the script. So if you're not, a bona fide scripting expert, that can be pretty hard, and I'll show you how to work around that. Most of these scripts cannot be re-triggered. So the idea is that if you've deployed a script, then that script has no way to get rerun. These scripts have no way to get re-triggered. So once that script comes down, there's really no way for you to re-trigger that and see that happen again. Typically, you need to just update the script and wait for MDM to redeploy it. There's no way to kind of rerun that script for testing purposes. These last four, number 3, 2, 1, and 0, are kind of all about Intune restrictions. At Microsoft Ignite this last year, they made a big deal that you can now deploy PowerShell scripts using Intune, and the crowd went wild, and that's great. But it should be noted about what the limitations are, and I want to kind of go through that here. The first thing is that it only lets you do PowerShell scripts. That's another thing. It only lets you do PowerShell scripts. So just like some of the other vendors, if you have things that are not in PowerShell, you can't do it. The other key restrictions is that the scripts must be very, very small. 10 kilobytes for ASCII or 5 kilobytes for Unicode, which is really, really small. The second thing, which might even be more important, is that you can only use the 32-bit version of PowerShell. So if you've got 64-bit PowerShell commandlets, those are not a thing you can do inside the Intune plus PowerShell. The scripts only run when the computer is actually already pre-associated with the user. So if you've got non-log-on devices like kiosk machines, well, then MDM is plus Intune plus scripting is not a thing you can do here. It's a kind of a major restriction. And also the scripts will not run with hybrid scenarios. That is, if the computer is both on-prem domain joined and Azure domain joined, then it's a no-go. The script will not run in that case. Okay, so how do we overcome all that? Well, we've really thought those problems all the way through and try to wrestle them all the way to the ground. First thing is that PolicyPak Scripts is included with the on-prem and MDM edition, and it works across any MDM service. We can target stuff to both user and computer side. It just works the way you would expect. We can use all sorts of languages like VB, JS, BAT, and PowerShell as a language. Scripts can be applied once, always, and once plus a retrigger if you want to. We have no size restrictions. We can work with kiosk mode. We can work with hybrid join. And my favorite two superpowers is this idea where you get an on script and an off script. So when the policy no longer applies, you're predetermining what's supposed to happen when that policy no longer applies. And all of our stuff can be wrapped up inside item level targeting to make it drop dead easy. In other words, if you've got a script that you want to say, do this thing when it's a laptop, great. We can figure that out very quickly using item level targeting. That's it for like the little mini stuff here. Now, I'm hoping you watched the previous videos where I created existing policies here in PolicyPak Scripts land. I have one here on the user side, which is going to deliver a shortcut, and it's also going to undeliver a shortcut when the policy no longer applies. So here's the apply action that's going to deliver a shortcut when the policy applies. Here's the revert action that's going to nuke the shortcut when the policy no longer applies. We talked about this in other videos, that you can wrap the whole thing up in item level targeting, which is awesome. You can just point and shoot your way to glory and say, when I'm going to do this on script when it's a portable computer, or when the operating system is Windows 10, or when the CPU, whatever your goal is, or when the IP range. You can set the targeting filters so that this script will only fire off when the condition is true. And when the condition isn't true anymore, we're going to run the off script. Okay? I've already done this script, and I've actually, in a previous video, I dragged it over here to the desktop in a little folder called PP Xml Scripts. It's right here, the scripts for the user side to make the shortcut. The other thing I did in the other video here is I created another script that will rename my network adapter. So it's going to do a system-wide thing. It's going to find the Ethernet adapter and rename it to be called AwayNet. Just something so you can see me do something on the computer side. And like I said, PolicyPak can use not just PowerShell, but it can use batch file, VBScript, and JavaScript. We've got that on script and that off script. I've already dragged and dropped this over to a file, and it's ready to go. Now we're ready to close out the policy editor, and now we're ready to convert the XMLs into an MSI. Well, how do you do that? We're going to go to the PolicyPak Exporter utility, and the PolicyPak Exporter utility lets you create MSIs to then upload to your MDM service. Let's go ahead and create those. I'm going to add existing files. Here they are. I'll just go ahead and open those guys. Now at this point you can see that the first item here is going to go to users and groups. Now I haven't declared any users. This would be for users that would be domain joined. So in hybrid scenarios we would do that. Because the machine I'm going to be demonstrating on has no domain joined property, I'm going to set it to computer. So this is really important. This script, even though it's a user side thing, is going to hit all users on the computer. That's the amazing part. It's going to hit all users on the computer. This other thing that's a system policy, okay, this is a system policy. It's going to rename the network card. That is on the computer side. That is on the system side. And there's no changing that. So go ahead and click next here, and we'll call this PolicyPak package settings for scripts, something like that. So you know what you're doing here. We'll go ahead and click next and finish it out. We'll go ahead and save it here in the same folder. And we'll call it PP Scripts MSI.msi. Okay, there we go. So there's our file ready to go. Let's upload it to our MDM service. The one I happen to be using is AirWatch. Again, we work with MobileIron, we work with Intune, we work with other ones. All we're going to do here, I've already got the client-side extension. That's the moving part to make PolicyPak do its magic. Uploaded. I've got our licenses uploaded. I've got some older settings that are uploaded. So let me go ahead and add an application here. I'm going to go ahead and find the MSI file we just generated together. Where is that guy? On the desktop, PP Scripts XML. Here we go, PP Scripts MSI.msi. We'll go ahead and save it. And it's not a dependency app. Okay, very exciting stuff. So I'm going to just kind of zip through this whole thing really fast. And this only takes a quick second here. I'm going to go ahead and add assignment to everybody. Okay, we'll go ahead and do everybody here. And there we go, ready to go. And we'll deploy it to all computers here. Now this is the thing that takes a while, which is to say MDM is kind of runs on its own schedule. So I've got it deployed. It's going to everybody. If I take a look at my endpoint here, the first thing is you can see that I am enrolled in my AirWatch or my MDM service. Again, it doesn't matter which one. I'll go ahead and close that out. You can also see that my MDM service has deployed my PolicyPak client-side extension. That's the magic that makes us all go. There's the licenses to light up PolicyPak. And I'll go ahead and close. Actually, I'll leave this open for now. And then the last thing is that we want to see the result. So the result we're looking for when the script is finally downloaded by our MDM service is that it's going to rename the Ethernet adapter and also going to give us a shortcut. So that's just a simple script that I created in previous videos. So what I'll do now is I'll pause the video, we'll come back, and we'll see the result of the MDM service. Okay, so I've waited a while. My MDM service and my client have talked to each other, and here are the results. The first thing is that here is the packaged MSI that's automatically downloaded. Again, our MDM service delivered that to us, and look, we have the shortcut that affects all users on the machine, and you can see the Ethernet adapter. I did have to hit F5 to refresh this, but you can see the Ethernet adapter has changed from Ethernet to AwayNet. So it's doing all those things. And here's the other best part. I'm not going to use MDM to do this part. I'm just going to do this by hand. But what happens if the script is revoked? So let's go ahead and pretend that using our MDM service, we decide that we don't want the script anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and just uninstall this the pre-configured package settings that we've got here. So if I were to go put password in here, watch what's going to happen here. We've removed it here, and watch the icon. Boom. Because we have that on script idea and that off script idea. And we were able to deliver the on script when the policy and MSI applied, and we're able to revoke that policy with the script when the off script was ready to apply, just like that. Again, no other MDM solution can do that. And again, we're not an MDM solution. We hook into and make your MDM solution even better. So I hope this helps you out and gets you a better understanding of where PolicyPak Scripts plus your MDM solution equals way more awesome than you had 5 minutes ago. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.